Hello, I am Manya Kaladi, and I'm a member of the 2023 Graduation Committee.
Hello, I am Nikita Kare, and I am the 2023 class historian.
Dr. Emma Pierson is a graduate of TJ's class of 2009. Since then, she has earned her bachelor's in physics at Stanford, her master's in statistics at Oxford University, and her PhD in computer science at Stanford University. Dr. Pierson currently is an assistant professor of computer science at the Jacobs Technion Cornell Institute, developing data science and machine learning models to study inequality and healthcare.
Her work has been recognized by the Rhodes Scholarship, Hertz Fellowship, and Forbes 30 Under 30 in Science list, and she has been published in journals including Nature and Nature Medicine. She has also written for the New York Times, Wired, and various other publications. Without further ado, everyone, please give a warm welcome to Dr. Emma Pierson.
Members of the class of 2023, families, teachers, distinguished guests, friends, congratulations, and thank you for inviting me to speak. I will say that going to TJ was one of the best things, truly, that ever happened to me. I feel very lucky to have done so, and I feel very lucky to speak to you today. And this is not in my prepared remarks, but seeing you all before me, I am in awe of what you've done. I know how hard it is to graduate from this place, and you should be incredibly proud of yourselves. It is a remarkable achievement. I want to tell you the story of something that happened to me when I was only a little older than you. To be precise, when I was 20 years, 7 months, and 3 weeks old, which I can tell you precisely because, like many of you, I am a math nerd. There is, in fact, math written on the back of this speech, so my nerd creds are real. But not only because of that, but because that was the day I found out that I carried a genetic mutation which dramatically raises my risk of cancer. That was not a good day for me. It was December and I was inside wearing a t-shirt and shorts, but I was so upset when I got the call from the geneticist that I wrapped myself in a coat and I walked right outside into the winter air, and I walked to the local elementary school and looked so disheveled with my trench coat over shorts, obviously extremely upset, that a teacher actually yelled at me that I had to leave the school grounds. Your teachers, hearing this story, are currently probably regretting inviting me back to a high school graduation. More seriously, though, I want to tell you 3 lessons I've learned from that event. The first lesson is about the purpose of science. I spent the first few months after I got that bad news trying to come to terms with it. And during this period, I came across a paper by this AI professor, Daphne Kohler. In her paper, they take images of cells from cancer patients and they apply an AI model to predict whether the patients will survive. These days, you would probably do this using deep learning. Back then, they were using old school computer vision. And I thought it was the most amazing thing. And more importantly, it gave me hope. I thought, fine, I had this cancer problem, but maybe AI could help. And this, in the end, has always been the thing drawing me to science, why you all fill me with hope. The part of science I know the most about, of course, is computer science. And computer science for me was never just an abstract technical exercise, a nerd coding alone in a dark room, or the syslab, I guess, if you go to TJ, the mystical incantation of public static void main string args, whatever that means. It is a deeply human endeavor, a deeply hopeful endeavor. It's about improving, even saving people's lives. It's about the woman whose cancer is caught earlier because a deep learning algorithm spotted a shadow in her mammogram. It's about the queer kid who finds love earlier because a dating algorithm suggested a soulmate in a city of strangers. It's about the racist policy which ends earlier because a data scientist stood up in court and said, "This is unjust," and the data proves it. So my first plea to you today is to choose those human projects, the projects that concretely improve people's lives, and not just in some trivial way, and not just for the very richest people. I was, in fact, on the math team when I was here, and the secret they never tell you on math team is this: the biggest factor determining your impact in the world will not, in fact, be how good at math you are. It will be the projects you choose to work on. Choose human projects, and choose your projects carefully. We spend far too little time choosing the projects we devote our lives to, because that profoundly determines our impact. The second lesson my mutation taught me is how the stories we live shape the work we choose to do. That genetic coin flip so profoundly upended the rest of my life. I went from being a physics undergrad who didn't really know what I wanted to do to someone who woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning to read papers on cancer, which I don't recommend, by the way. Sleep is very important, but fear had sharpened me. We all carry such fears within us, bits of broken glass that prick us when we're slow. They help us to be excellent at what we do. We build our lives around an architecture of anecdote, and sometimes wandering down the corridors we wish had never been built, achieve the extraordinary. The problem is that the way we currently select scientists turns away all but those with a narrow set of stories. Through 1,000 arbitrary barriers on race and gender and wealth and nationality, we turn geniuses away. And it makes our science worse. It makes our understanding worse. You see this when our genetic risk scores for cancer work better in people of European ancestry, because that's who our scientists have historically collected data on. You see this when Black women die of breast cancer at higher rates than white women for reasons we still do not fully understand. The barriers to equal participation in science are not just a problem for fairness or equity or justice, they are a problem for scientific rigor. And when I went to TJ, I saw clearly both those barriers and the people fighting to tear them down. I heard rape jokes and homophobic slurs. I heard the men in my class speculate about whether we got into MIT because we were women. I heard so many mocking comments from more experienced students in my computer science class that I thought I was hopeless at it, even though I'm now a computer science professor. But I can quote to you verbatim, too, the words of encouragement from the teachers and friends and even, yes, the captain of the math team, as they insisted that I stay. So tonight, I want to say the same thing to those of you who are wondering whether you have a place in science. Please stay. Please stay. If you, like me, were spellbound by the elegance of DNA replication or Schrodinger's equation, Bayes rule, or recursion, magnetism, or Mendelian inheritance, if you obsess over election statistics, or you're an artist who wants to use AI to create new art, like one TJ woman who wrote to me just a couple weeks ago, I want you to pay attention to that feeling in your bones that this is beauty you cannot look away from, whatever the ugliness of our unequal world. We need you. The very dimensions of difference that make people doubt your right to be in the room are precisely the reasons we need you. They are what let you obsess over the scientific problems we've too long ignored, to see the solutions we've too long overlooked. Please stay. And please apply to Cornell for CS PhD if I might make a shout out for my own institution. Here is the final lesson my mutation taught me. The day I found out I carried it, I wrote down a resolution which has been immensely valuable to me since then: to live urgently, mindful that our time is running out. It has been a great gift to me to internalize that I will die, while I still have plenty of time left to live, to love the woman I want to love, who is with me here today, to do the work I want to do, to spend time in beautiful places rather than in front of a computer screen. I sometimes think that all of life is a big conspiracy to make us forget the basic and essential fact that it will end. We have so many daily demands, exams, papers, applications, that encourage us to fly through time blind. But your life truly is yours to do with what you want, and it is the only chance that you will ever get to do that. I hope that you will choose, with your brilliance, to make the world a better and more equal place. But even more than that, I hope that whatever you choose to do, you do it with deliberation and reverence for the immense privilege we've been given. Not privilege in the social justice sense of the word, but simply the privilege of being briefly conscious in an extraordinary universe, unimaginably unlikely, and therefore precious beyond measure. Congratulations, class of 2023. Have a wonderful night with your families. Have a wonderful summer. I cannot wait to see what you do next.